Welcome to the Animaps Advanced Settings tutorial. In this tutorial, we will give an introduction to the various features which become enabled when you use the Animaps editor in advanced mode. We will create a test map for our examples. To switch to advanced mode, click on Settings, and then the General tab under Advanced Features, click on. The first thing you will notice is that there are additional headings in the left-hand side. Pop-up settings gives you more control over how long various items will pop up for during playback, such as images and text. There are three levels of pop-up setting: the user level, the map level, and the individual item level. The settings under this heading, on the left, are for the map level. For each of four types of pop-up, you can set whether the pop-up will occur or not, and if it does, how long it will be pop-up for. These defaults that you see here are set by the user level pop-up settings, which are in the settings dialog we saw before, under the pop-up settings section. So, you set the pop-up settings in the user dialog box to get the defaults for all of the maps that you create, and then for each map you can change the defaults if you like. Let's create an animated marker to show these defaults in action. By default, the start and end date destinations are given names, so that when we play it back, they will appear as pop-ups. We see the start destination, and speeding it up, we see the end destination as a pop-up. Now if we change this map so that destination pop-ups do not appear, and run the playback again, we can see the effect that that has. There is no starting pop-up, and there is no finish pop-up. You may still want to change this default behavior for one specific item. Let's say here we want to say that we saw the cliffs of Dover. There is a new section in the information windows for all items which pop-ups occur, which allows this. You can see that down the bottom it is telling us that the pop-up for this destination will not appear. We can change this here by overriding it, show the pop-up for however many seconds, and that change will be specific just for this one destination. Again, we'll see this in the playback. No pop-ups at the start, but then a pop-up where we wanted it. That's all for pop-up settings. The other new section on the left here is the viewpoints and speed section. There is a tutorial just on this section which goes into more detail, but we'll take a quick look now. First, under the General tab you can see that the viewpoint setting has gone. We can no longer set the map viewpoint from here. It is now under Viewpoints and Speeds as the starting viewpoint. You can still set it in the same way. Now, however, you can also create new viewpoints. If you move to a time which does not have a viewpoint, the link at the top changes to Create New Viewpoint. Clicking on this will create a new viewpoint which will be moved to during playback when that time is reached. Each viewpoint can have a different map type and can play back the action at a different speed. Let's see that second viewpoint in action. The halfway point, the map pans to the second viewpoint. Again, for more information on that, see the multiple viewpoints tutorial. Next, Advanced Mode adds the ability to add YouTube videos to maps. This is an experimental feature. You add a video the same way as images and text. Click on the video button and then on the map. You can set what time the video will pop up for and set the pop-up settings the same for images, text and destinations. This information window asks for the URL to a video. You can provide either the video link or the embed code from YouTube into this text box. Note that only YouTube is supported at this time. During playback, the pop-up window for the video will open and the video will start playing automatically. However, when viewing a map for the first time, the video can take some time to load and start playing. The pop-up setting for the video should be set to take this into account. Note that if the pop-up time runs out before the video finishes, the pop-up will still disappear. As an example, we can load one of the other Animaps videos. Next, a bit about the new features for markers after I delete that video. Markers have a few new features in advanced mode. The first is that at each destination, markers can be made invisible or visible again. Each destination can either set the marker to be invisible or keep it the default. A useful trick using this feature is to set the marker invisible at the very start, and then you will have a line which crawls across a page without a marker on top of it. Let's see that in playback. There you can see you have a line but with no marker. Next, as mentioned in previous tutorials, both the past and future routes for markers, plus the edge and fill of lines and shapes, can have their opacity and their thickness set as well as their color. So we can, for instance, change the thickness of the line in the past to be very thick and maybe very light. And maybe we set the width of the future line very thick as well and quite light as well, but maybe a different color. This is a great way to personalize your maps. Lastly, for markers, markers can now be cloned. A new button for each marker allows you to clone it. This allows you to very quickly create many very similar markers. We now have two. If we edit the root of the second marker, we can see that it was easy to create a second similar marker. Now we move on to pop-up locations. By default, when Animaps pops up images, text and videos, it tries to find a location that it sees as most appropriate without overriding anything else that's on the page. But it is not perfect. You can provide Animaps with a hint about where to pop something up by clicking on the Set Pop-Up link now in every text, video and image information window. Test the pop-up location with some text. You click on the Set Pop-Up Location link. This will change the information window to the pop-up window. Move it relative to the item's location where you want it to pop up, above left of the item or above right, etc. And Animaps will use that pop-up location if it is visible, given the view the map is showing at that time during playback. Let's say up and to the left. Close it, and the information window comes back, and it says that the pop-up location has been set. It's important to note that whether this pop-up location is used is only if that pop-up location is visible on the map, and this can vary depending on whether the user has taken control of the playback or even what size their monitor is. For these reasons, the pop-up location should be thought of as a strong hint rather than an order. Let's see how that one works in playback. There it is, it's popped up where we thought. The last new feature is the ability to force the map to pause. This can be done at the start of each viewpoint. Let's say that after a certain amount of time, you want the map to pause so that users can read the information on the screen, watch the video which is playing, etc. A new button is available for each viewpoint, which allows you to pause on arrival at that viewpoint. Users will need to click on the play button to continue the map. That's all for the advanced settings tutorial. Check out the Using Multiple Viewpoints tutorial for more on viewpoints and pauses. Otherwise, keep an eye on the blog for more tutorials and explanations over time. Thanks for watching.